Hello and welcome to the channel. My name is Drew. This is Just a Guy at Linux. And yes, friends, this will be my third video on Nextcloud. And thank you for watching and thank you for subscribing and the whole 9 yards. So last time we were using Nextcloud, we did some interesting things for the UI. And now we're going to get into some like featured apps. So I did want to make mention of one thing. I did change the color scheme. Let me go back over to, actually not over here. So it's under admin settings and theming. And we're going to call this one, it's just so you can see what the colors are as far as primary and background color. This is called Kanagawa Dark. And I'm digging it. I'm totally digging it. So let's go over to apps. Now there's going to be a bunch of things in the featured apps section, and you can see right here what is enabled, but when it comes right down to it, you definitely want to take a more close look at what featured apps there are available. And granted, there's going to be a bunch of stuff in these other sections as well, but there's a reason why these are featured apps. So I do want to talk about some, and I do want to install some. The one thing that I think you should do here is not be afraid and try different things. For example, collectives. Let's go ahead and download and enable. I guess I need to authenticate. Okay. And it's going to do that. Deck is very cool, especially if you want to incorporate that with tasks. So let's go ahead and do that. But I also want to talk and show external storage support, and we're going to enable that. Okay, let's start with that. Let's also talk about external sites. This might be something that a few of you might be interested in, but I think that it's very useful. So, all right, we're going to go to admin settings and external sites. Now I've added one site already, a JAGL, or Just a Guy Linux YouTube, and then the URL for this particular channel. Now if I hit the triple dots, you're going to say this site does not allow embedding, and that is checked off. Okay, so it will hopefully embed the URL, but YouTube's not going to let me do that. So let me hit refresh here. And when I go over here to my custom menu, you're going to see JAGL YouTube. All right. So when I click that, it says, nope, can't do it. All right. And the reason why is because it would have been an embedded URL. So let's go back. Okay. And let's do this and click on this does not. But let's also add another site. Okay. And let's call this documentation. And we're going to say, I can't remember what my URL, so https://justguylinux.com. And I want my Nextcloud featured apps. Let's just use that, okay? And let's go ahead and just copy that, okay? So let's go over here and paste that. Let's just use that as an example, okay? And so I'm going to leave this checked off. YouTube is going to be checked on because it definitely does not allow embedding, all right? But this might allow embedding, and so there we go. We're going to just hit refresh. And we've got both of these. So if I do go over here now, it says documentation. I probably should have done a better description, but you can see that the icon is going to be one of these, like, you know, web icons, let's call it. So if I say click on this, it is now going to work, but it's not embedded. So let's go back. All right. And let's click on documentation. Now I hope that this will be embedded. And look at that. Notice that it's actually showing up inside of our Nextcloud instance. So if I want to, I'm keeping everything here. I just happen to be at a URL that may mean something to me while I'm in Nextcloud. But if I want to, I can simply go back over and go to the file. Let's just say files, doesn't really matter what it is. And there you go. It just the embedded site now is gone, and we're able to like continue. Before moving on, I'm just going to remove these just so that they're not part of my navigation. So I'm going to hit refresh, and so it's not there anymore. Okay, that's what I want. So anyway, let's go over to external storage, because this is really, really stinking cool. Now, let's just say you want to create a external storage for your directories. This is one way to do it. And in fact, you can use Amazon S3. I have not done this, but I am willing to do this if you guys really want to and have put a comment that is something like, hey, I would like you to try that. But I don't use that, and this is the way I set it up. Now, I use TrueNAS scale. So I have Samba shares created on my TrueNAS scale, one for documents, notes, pictures, and videos. And I remove, let's go to files. I actually remove all of these so that I can just use the Samba shares, and it's part of my TrueNAS scale instance. So we're going to just do one so that you can see how that works. All right. So I'm going to use videos. Okay. And I'm going to go back over here, and let's go into admin settings and external storage. Now, unfortunately, it says SMB client is not installed. So since we did the installation on Ubuntu server in part 1, let's go into the name of this machine is called Venetian. So I'm just going to log in, and I'm going to say install SMB client. Now for me, it's, I've already put the, like I said, I've done this before. So I set up, you would need sudo apt install SMB client so that you could do this. And you may need to sudo system ctl restart Apache 2, but I'm not sure if that's necessary. So anyway, I'm going to hit refresh now. And you can see that it is now, you don't get that, let me just go ahead and close that. You don't get that message anymore. So and it is now part of this SMB CIFS. And now we can start adding stuff, okay? The folder's name for me is going to be videos, okay? And the host is going to be whatever you call your host, which to me it's TrueNAS, so it's going to be TrueNAS. All right. So the share is going to be called videos. Now we're going to come back to this in a second. I'm going to go over here to TrueNAS, and we're going to look at this videos, okay? And it's going to be edit. Actually, no. Let me cancel that. And we're going to look at permissions. There we go. And so the user is going to be Drew. Okay, so make sure that your permissions are set, or your access control list is set. This is not going to be a video on TrueNAS scale. I am not that good. I know that there's a lot better people at this than me, so I just get it to work correctly. That's all. That's the extent of what I can do. And now so it's TrueNAS videos, and then the user is Drew and the password. Okay. And as far as people, there's only a couple. But if you want, like, let's just say, I'm going to use Drew right there. Let's just say you have multiple people and you have different shares. Let me explain what that would look like, okay? So let me go to shares. And my wife, who's Dee Dee, she has the same type of shares. And so I want her shares separate from my shares. So when she shares something to her Nextcloud instance, it's going to go and be on that SMB share, not mine. Okay, does that make sense? I hope it does. Okay, and so now I'm going to save, and it looks like I need to authenticate again. Let's go with that. Did I do that right? Okay. And oh, there it goes. And it's authenticated. So now, if I am up here in external storage, you're going to see videos as part of it. So now when I go to Files, look at that. There's my videos. It says pending. The only reason why it's pending is because I haven't really updated anything. So actually there's a sway and there's an output file from 8 months ago. So it actually is looking at the right, it's looking at the right share on my TrueNAS scale. Okay, let me close that. And I guess that's all for now. Let me look at this one more time. I think maybe it should stop say pending. Yeah, right there. Right there. It's fine. So I thought that it might continue to say pending, but it's not. It's all good to go, and it's part of my TrueNAS scale. So I'm going to show you tasks and deck, and frankly, notes is its own video. But there are really specific use cases for each one of those things, okay, between Nextcloud notes, between tasks, and between the deck. So let's go first to tasks, okay? And let's just add something as far as fix the fence. How about that? Okay? And you can set it up. So I want to start today, and I want it done by Friday, okay? And if you need to, you can start, doing things over here. If you need notes or what have you, it's right there. And I'm going to go ahead and close. But I also want to add a subtask because I need lumber. So go or get new lumber. Okay? And I need that before I start fixing the fence, really. So I'm going to assign this to today, but I want to do it by tomorrow, okay? So I need that by tomorrow. And you get the idea. This subtask you can build this out, and you can add quite a bit of tasks that you want to keep on your calendar and add as trackable items. So let me go ahead and close this, and let's go over to calendar, okay? Because I want to be able to see, oh, there it is. I've got my new lumber. Sorry, I fixed the fence and the new lumber, which is part of my calendar, okay? And you can see those two items right here, okay? By the way, calendar settings. We need a new calendar. We need a new calendar. Oh, add public holiday. There we go. That's something we should do. There we go, subscribe. There we go. Oh, wow. I didn't think it was all that. Okay, well, I didn't realize all this stuff got imported, but okay, we're good with that. So anyway, let's go over to deck. Now, there's nothing in my deck currently, but let's go ahead and add a board, and let's call this, ideas. All right, and okay, there we go. So we're in the ideas board, and we're going to add a list, and the list name is going to be stage 1. Okay, there we go. And let's go ahead and add a in progress, and simply complete. Actually, you know what we'll do? Let's go ahead and add that, but let's also add something called stage 2. And can I move this? Yes, we can. Okay, so that's what I want to do. And now, if I want to add a card, the card is going to be make YouTube video on Nextcloud Notes. Okay, now when I click on this, I can add quite a bit, including, I can't assign it to anybody other than myself, so I'll just assign it to myself, right? I can also have it done by next week at 8 a.m. And I want to add attachments and like notes in here and so on. And this is the start of the idea, okay? So let's go ahead and close that. Now, let's just say I want to, I'm ready to get to stage 2. I simply can just drag it here, okay? And I'm like, okay, I'm in the process, I'm making notes, I want to have an outline and so on and so forth. And then I want to, I don't know, start actually recording the video, and then when it's done. So anyway, you get the idea. It can be, I'm just going to leave it in stage 1, and I can add another one, just say video on Amazon S3, okay? And so anyway, you have the idea. You can actually move things around. So I'm actually going to put this over here so that it's stage 1, but this one's in stage 2. All right, now cool. Here's something that's interesting, because if you go back over to tasks, all right, you can go into ideas, and there's stage 1 and 2. Actually, you know what? It's not really, let's say it's manual. So I want to move this. Can I move this? I should be able to move this, and maybe, and let's say relevance. Nope, that doesn't work manually. Anyway, I would like to like reorganize this, and probably there's an easy way to do that. I'm just missing it. Anyway, okay. So, but you get the idea. It comes back over here, and you can see it in your tasks as well as your calendar. Okay, so here's the make the video. It's due on this date, and it comes back here to task if I click on that. Interesting. Okay, so I wasn't really clear about all of that, but at the same time, I think you understand how cool having some of this functionality. The idea for Nextcloud for me was to replace Google Docs and Google Drive for the most part, and the entire suite of products that Google has apart from Mail. So this is one of the things that I think should be considered when looking for an alternative. Without question, this is the best thing that I've found in order to replace some of the things that I wanted to replace. So anyway, I appreciate you for watching. I know that that some of the Nextcloud videos are not very popular. I like them. That's the fact. I like them, and I hope that you do too. So anyway, talk to you soon.